Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Tales X-Men Classics. Marvel Tales, baby, on the name. I am joining me, as always, in his supporter for Proteus for president.
Justin the Owl, warping reality around us.
Let's say, don't we have enough people in Washington warping reality?
I happen to think that Proteus would do a better job of it.
Oh,
but that's as far as I'll go with that.
That's right, kids, because this time we're going to be covering the Proteus Saga from Uncanny X-Men 125 through 128. Although that's the weird thing. It's like, I don't know if they consider the book title Uncanny X-Men yet, even though it's on the cover, but I don't know.
Yeah, what were they doing then for the title?
Just X-Men, I guess. Because believe it or not, kids, there was a time there was only one X-Men book.
Yeah.
Well, X-Men right. Proper. Yeah, like X-Men and New Mutants. That was about it.
Yeah. And for quite a while, actually.
Like at this point, I don't think we had any New Mutants at this point, did we? No.
No. That wasn't until, what, 1980? 81?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because this is 70s, right? So yeah, there's New Mutants. Yeah, kids, there's only one X-Men book. Can you believe it?
Yeah, there was a time. There was a time.
It did not last long, especially.
Yeah. Well, it was barely, 20 years. Yeah.
Well, I mean, then once you got some Jim Lee art, they're like, we need more of this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially once the success of X Factor took off. They're like, ooh, okay, I can see where this is going.
Well, especially like when we folded those original X Factor members back in, and it's just like, well, we have like 14 X-Men at this point.
Yeah. Let's make a whole bunch of team books.
Yeah, all right. Do at least 2 regular X-Men books, an X Factor and X-Force.
Yeah.
Because the mutants were only new for 100 issues, kids.
And then they were not new anymore.
Exactly. All right. Well, should we jump in? Because we do have a lot to start off.
Epic story.
John Byrne January.
Yeah.
All right. And some covers here.
Yeah, this is one of my picks. This is one of my favorite all-time classic X-Men stories. Love this one.
All right. So, and again, kids, I mean, this has been all over the place. I mean, probably it's been reprinted. And probably X-Men or classic X-Men.
That was where I first read it, actually.
But then it is on the Marvel Unlimited app. I wonder if this has to be in a collection somewhere.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I think that there's a few of the John Byrne and Chris Claremont collections, like the Marvel.
Probably a Marvel Masterworks too.
Yeah, and Visionaries. That line of. Remember when they did the Visionaries of the different people that were doing like the different runs of stuff that have collections like that? They had an Alan Davis one for Excalibur. And they had a Peter David one for Hulk. They were doing that for a little while.
Yeah. They have to have something for this. All right, so we'll start with, and I'm going to call it Uncanny X-Men 125, even though officially it's listed as X-Men 125.
It'll be uncanny to me.
Oh my lord, I love it. It says X-Men 125, then right underneath Legacy numbering, Uncanny X-Men
Legacy
125.
They had to add Legacy to it.
All right, so Uncanny X-Men 125, September 1979. There's something awful on Mirror Island. Writer Chris Claremont, penciler John Byrne, Inker Terry Austin, colors Glennis Ween, letterer just says Orshowski. Isn't that Tom?
Yeah, it just has his last name.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Yeah.
And editor Roger Stern.
I love it. Roger Stern is editor. Yeah.
On Muir Island, Moira McTaggart is testing out Jean or Phoenix's abilities to learn the upper limits of her expanded powers. Moira is disturbed at the seemingly limitless amount of energy the Phoenix can generate. After correlating some data, Moira hypothesizes that after saving the universe from the effects of the Mcron crystal, Jean had subconsciously created her own mental barriers to keep her powers at a manageable level. Now, however, they seem to be returning to their cosmic level, and Moira would like to know why. Moira's theorizing prompts Jean to recall the events that transformed her into the Phoenix and then the events that brought her to Muir Island following the supposed deaths of the X-Men. Unbeknownst to them, a shadowy figure is spying on them.
Ooh.
What is this, 1994? It would be someone's clone. The X-Men are alive and well, however, and believe that Jean is the one who died, as well as the Beast. At the same time, they are undertaking a training session in the Danger Room. Wolverine attempts to help Colossus, but is neutralized while an overconfident Nightcrawler is taken down by a sonic attack. After it's over, Cyclops chews them out for their poor performance till Wolverine loses his temper over playing games and storms off. Cyclops laments to Storm that he's uncertain the new X-Men, who still don't function as a cohesive unit, will ever work as well together as the original team did, because the disparate members were all brought together as adults rather than as teenagers as the original team were, and are each so strong-willed in their own ways that it's hard for them to truly cooperate. In orbit around Earth is Asteroid M, Magneto's secret hideout. He is still recovering from injuries sustained in his last battle with the X-Men. While reviewing his computer records of his previous battles with the original team, he accidentally accesses an old data file on his late wife, Magda. Seeing her face causes him to recall the painful memory of the death of their child at the hands of bigoted peasants, as well as how Magda fled from him in fear when he used his powers to avenge their daughter. He deletes the file so he doesn't have to relive the memories again. So yeah, people are flashing back and reliving memories all in this thing.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It's like, this is the only time we're going to see Magneto in these 4 issues.
Right. Yeah, and he's still laid up. He's still got the bandages all over him.
Meanwhile, the mysterious man named Jason Wingard, a mutant himself, has been slowly molding the mind of Jean Grey since he first met her. He's been stalking her throughout her extended stay in Europe, taking on different guises and accessing her mind in order to plant the seeds for his plans to transform her into the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club. Groomer. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
On Muir Island, Jean seems to briefly fall into a trance while Jason is thinking of her. Lorna snaps her out of it, however, and Jean uses her powers to instantaneously transform her clothes several times as she pirouettes around the room. In Moira's lab, Moira pores over the data and ponders the fact that Jean has been granted powers to act into a god. Profoundly disturbed, she wonders where Charles Xavier may be and wishes he would come back. Xavier is in the Shi'ar galaxy as Lilandra's consort. While she is attending the matters of the Imperial Court, Xavier, who by Shi'ar standards is like the village idiot, his words, checks out holographic records of the X-Men's previous adventures in this galaxy. Xavier has been fully briefed on the events and only just realizes how much power that Jean Phoenix wielded during the adventure with the Mcron crystal. As Moira already has, Xavier realizes that Jean's new powers are likely far too vast for her to control for long. He prepares to return to Earth immediately. Well, I don't know how immediate. We don't see him. This is another one. We don't see him this whole time.
Right. How immediately is that? Yeah.
Over the years, every time it's like, oh, Xavier disappeared. Where'd he go? Oh, you know where he went every time.
Yeah.
He
Superior puss.
He crosses galaxies for
superior puss.
That's what it is.
That bird stuff must be good.
All those feathers.
Well, supposedly avian lovers are the best.
It's an owl.
Oh, little bird told you so.
Who? Back on Muir Island, Moira steps on a gold tooth. Examining it, she becomes alarmed and rushes to Mutant X's containment chamber. She reacts in horror at what she finds there. Although we don't know what she finds yet. Elsewhere on the island, Jean, using her powers to shield her from the cold of Muir Island, passes by Jamie and Alex. While Jamie recalls on how well Jean in a light summer dress is withstanding the bracing cold of Muir Island, Alex thinks to himself that it is not like Jean to show off her powers or use them in such a casual manner. Jean telepathically hears Alex's concern but dismisses it. Upon entering Muir's research facility, Jean detects an intruder in the facility. Changing into her costume, she begins searching for the intruder when suddenly she finds herself seemingly transported back in time to the Victorian era for a brief moment. She snaps back to reality when someone jumps her from behind. Looking into her attacker's face, she screams in terror. Alex and Matrox hear her and run to investigate. Back at the X Mansion, the Beast drops by to check out the school. He had left some sensors in place to alert him of any possible intruders, which had gone off since the X-Men returned. He is stunned to find the X-Men, whom he believed were dead, very much alive, and vice versa. Explanations are made all around, and he informs them that Jean is alive and well and visiting Muir Island. While Cyclops places a call to Muir Island, Beast departs to check in at Avengers Mansion and inform them he'll be traveling with the X-Men to Scotland as well. He doesn't want to miss out on the reunion. Lorna answers Scott's call and tells him that there is a security situation going on at the island. However, before she can explain further, Lorna is attacked by some strange being that has a need for her. Keep Alex out of this. The last thing Cyclops hears before the line goes dead is Lorna screams.
Lots of screams in this one.
All these Muir Island women are screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, the line goes dead. All right. Thoughts?
I love this one. Yeah, this was a lot of setup, obviously. But I had kind of forgotten that Lorna, Alex, and Jamie were hanging around Muir Island at this time.
Yeah.
I love that because, I mean, as we know, they all went on to go on to X Factor together.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's cool that they've had this friendship for that long, the three of them. I love that. In fact, I would have loved to see more of their exploits on Muir Island, just the three of them. I thought that would have been cool for a little side adventure thing. Yeah, but gorgeous artwork throughout and so much story packed into this issue. My God, the stuff with I'd totally forgotten about the side stuff with Magneto and Professor X, Charles Xavier with the Shi'ar. I'd forgotten all about that side stuff being wedged into this issue. And it didn't hamper the flow of the story at all. Like it was totally organic. It didn't seem like it was unnecessarily shoehorned in. I love that.
Oh yeah, there's so much stuff. Oh yeah, the whole stuff with Magneto, and then the wife, which will be Quicksilver starts learning about that in Avengers 186, and then eventually they learn Magneto's their father, and
and I had forgotten about Cyclops berating the rest of the team. Oh God, I've got to find that line. It made me laugh out loud when I was reading it. I was like, "Oh man, Scott is salty here."
Oh, there's a lot of that in this era, and just I'm shooting like you're gonna be better, and then Wolverine pop in the closet, be like, "Quit comparing us to the old guys."
Yeah. Get off my case, bub. Yeah, but it was something that was extra salty, even for Scott. I thought, oh damn, he is not pulling any punches today. Let's see. Where was that line? It was something about. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, you're all such strong. You're all such strong and strong-willed individuals. I doubt you'll ever mesh as effectively as the original X-Men. I'm not even sure that's a desirable goal anymore.
Oh man.
I thought, oh God. Knives Out in the Danger Room. Wow. And look at poor Storm in the background after he said that. I mean, geez, this man was not pulling any punches that day. Yeah, he said, but we've got to be better than we are. We're good, but we've also been real lucky, and our luck can't last forever. It's like, damn, dude. Rein it in a little bit. Well, yeah, yeesh.
I was just waiting for it. Do you want to end up like Thunderbird? Because you can end up like Thunderbird.
Well, that's what he should have led with, right?
Mm.
Instead of being like, I doubt you'll ever mesh as effectively as the original X-Men. I'm not even sure that's a desirable goal anymore. Yikes. Damn. Yeah, and the whole grooming thing with Jason Weingard and Jean, it was so creepy still.
Yeah.
So icky.
But he's not even.
But it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be icky.
And it's like he's not even the first guy, because this reminded me, he's not even the first guy to try this. X-Men 111, Mesmero tried to.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole Jean fashion show, spinning around, changing
Spinning around,
clothes.
Yeah.
This was saying they were saying it might have been an homage to the Wonder Woman TV series, because this is 1979.
True, that's right. Yeah,
Linda Carter. Yeah,
she can telekinetically rearrange the molecules of her clothing into whatever. I like that. Yeah.
All right. So
this is great, and also the reunion with the Beast and the other X-Men. This for new fans and readers of the X-Men who haven't read this old stuff. This was back in the day when they actually thought a death was a real death. Like,
yep.
This is back in the day when, when somebody died, they actually thought that they were dead. They weren't just going to come back 2 weeks later.
That's what they should do anyway. Anytime someone dies in the next book, they should be like, they'll be back in 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, no, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Because anytime they mourn over a death, they mourn. I'm like, really?
Yeah. What are you crying for? They're going to be back in a couple of months at the most.
They're almost kind of like, oh, this might be the one that sticks. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it. You can even do that with Doug Ramsey, for God's sake.
I know.
Yeah. No.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes. How sharper than a serpent's tooth.
All right. Over. Boy, give me the cover. All right.
Love it. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's classic.
It's the X-Men bursting through the wall. Yeah. All right. God. Oh, nice. That cover. It's Dave Cockrum, Terry Austin, and Annie Crespi. Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
All right. Yeah. So Uncanny. I got something. I feel like some stuck in my throat. Uncanny X-Men 126 from October 1979. How sharper than a serpent's tooth. ... Exclamation point. All right. We're again Claremont writing, John Byrne. Oh yeah, same team. This time they do have Tom Wojciechowski's full name.
Put his full name on there. Okay.
Yeah. Unless that's I don't know. In the first one, they did just put Wojciechowski's last name. Maybe that's why they did it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, that's funny.
All right. The X-Men's private Blackbird jet blazes across Scotland's moors in haste to reach Muir Island, responding to Lorna Dane's distress over the phone. The X-Men left in such a rush that they could not even wait for the Beast to rejoin them. Upon arriving at Muir, they split into small groups to search the facility. Colossus finds Alex, who has suited up as Havoc, Banshee and Cyclops find Lorna in the ravaged body of Angus McWhirter. Storm finds Moira. Wolverine catches Jean's scent, but Cyclops insists on meeting her alone initially. He finds her still dazed after a fight with Mutant X. In a haze, she initially thinks Cyclops is Jason Wingard. Scott is disturbed when she calls out the name Jason. The entire group convenes in Moira's home. Jamie recounts the events that happened after Lorna's call was cut short. Mutant X first attacks Phoenix, but she drove him off. Afterwards, Jamie created a small army of duplicates to search the grounds. When Mutant X then attacked Lorna, she also successfully repelled him, but one of Jamie's duplicates came on the scene and the villain took him over, knocking Jamie for a loop. Concerned by the ease at which their opponent overpowered Jean Grey, Polaris, and Jamie Madrox, Cyclops asked Moira for more information. Moira explains that Mutant X is an energy being who possesses bodies to use as host forms. The possession kills the host, and ultimately Mutant X reduces the body to a desiccated carcass. The Cyclops demands to know who Mutant X is. Moira refuses to talk initially, but finally relents and reveals that he is her son.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, using the form of Madrox's body double, Mutant X has escaped to the nearby city of Stornoway, where he attempts to find a new body. Jamie's duplicate is almost spent. He crosses paths with an unaware Jason Wingard, but is foiled by the latter man's psychic defense mechanism. Alas, the hapless Ferdy Duncan fares less well. The next morning, the X-Men, including Phoenix, Havoc, Polaris, and Moira, head to the mainland while Jamie remains behind. They reason that their target will be headed towards a major town or city. As they split up, Moira explains to Cyclops that she's been attempting for years to rein in her son's killer instinct with no success. She further explains that he will be driven to seek more host bodies as he burns through his victims, and that his one weakness is any form of metal, which is toxic to him. We got a couple guys who can help you here.
Mm-hmm.
From a distance, Jason Wingard observes the team's dispersal and causes Jean to suddenly experience another vision of an 18th century life. She's a Scottish noblewoman riding horseback on a hunt along her betrothed, Jason. Suddenly, the dogs bring their quarry down, and while Jason clears them off, he offers Jean the knife in order to put down their quarry. She initially accepts his offer, but blanches when she realizes they've been hunting a man playing the part of the stag, and Jason claims it was her own idea. This shock reverts her back to reality, and she finds a mummified corpse of one of Mutant X's victims. Wolverine has picked up Mutant X's scent, ignoring the radio call concerning Jean's find. He follows his nose to a policeman. Impressed at how fast Wolverine saw through his new facade, Mutant X tries to possess him, only to recoil when he realizes his opponent's body is laced with metal. Nightcrawler drives up just as Wolverine threatens to gut their enemy. Mutant X, who now declares that he has renamed himself Proteus, demonstrates his ability to warp and twist reality itself. Wolverine's heightened senses make him especially susceptible to this form of attack. He and Nightcrawler are nearly overwhelmed when Storm arrives to aid them. Her attack distracts Proteus, but he quickly turns gravity upside down on her, causing her to crash into the ground. Injured and in danger of becoming Proteus's next host, she desperately tries to repel him with a massive gust of wind. Yet he tongue-tied. He closes in on her.
What'd you think of this one, Phil?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Proteus's powers. When I remember first reading this, I was really surprised when he first started doing the whole reality warping thing. I thought, oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that at all. Because I thought, oh, he's going to be like, an energy vampire type of thing that can, he's jumping from body to body and he can like drain people and stuff. I had no clue that he had this type of power. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm. I swear this had been mentioned before, but it's saying here, although it's previously been mentioned that Wolverine has unbreakable bones in issue 124, this is the first issue that states he has a metal adamantium skeleton.
That can't be.
No, I thought Magneto was messing with that
Yeah.
thing. Oh, unless he was just like pulling at the claws or something. But
yeah, I'm sure. I'm almost sure that they said that before this.
I thought. Well, they said unbreakable, but I guess they didn't mention they were metal. But I know Magneto sent him flying through the air. But again, unless he was just using the claws to do that.
Well, also there was that story where, no, actually that was after this because he was wearing the brown costume. I'll never forget it. Me and Russell were laughing so hard about it because we were covering Magneto once on Tomes of Evil, the comic book supervillain podcast, a couple of years ago, and we covered a story in Uncanny X-Men in which something happened when they were traveling in the Blackbird, and Wolverine wasn't sitting in his seat, and he was just kind of flailing around the cockpit, and he headbutted Storm in the back of the head, and because and even made mention that his skull was adamantium, and because he headbutted Storm, he knocked her unconscious.
Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
And the reason Mutant X probably couldn't possess Jason Wingard is because it's not going to be revealed until issue 134, but he has a mind tap mechanism created by the White Queen, so for him to mess with Phoenix, so that's probably why Mutant X couldn't possess him.
I liked that part. I thought that was clever. How, there's one person that he doesn't want to take control of. He's going to pass that one by. Yeah.
Where's that other part? Oh yeah, the title "How Sharper Than a Serpent's Tooth" is actually a quote from Shakespeare's King Lear. But of course, they didn't do the whole thing. It's how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child.
So
love
it. Yeah, this whole story is kind of like an old 70s Hammer horror film.
Oh yeah,
or like a 70s Doctor Who, like a spooky Doctor Who one set in England, set in Scotland or something, with this weird alien. I just love it. I love the whole vibe of this story. It's so spooky and weird, and there's just this whole creepy ambiance to everything. And I love the fact that we see Wolverine get taken down a few pegs here.
Oh yeah,
like for a while he was like the one to beat. You know what I mean? Like nobody could do anything to him. They could maybe knock him unconscious, but yeah, he really gets knocked for a loop here, and I thought that was interesting too.
Oh yeah, I think especially this upcoming issue, that's where he really gets knocked.
He actually has some PTSD from this encounter with Proteus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, should we do that one?
Yes, the power of Proteus.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that cover.
All right, so Uncanny X-Men 127 from November 1979, The Quality of Hatred. All right, same team, except this time Claremont and Byrne are listed as writers. So, as Proteus closes in on her, intent on stealing her physical form, Storm risks flight once more, but Proteus warps space around her and brings her back to the ground again, this time knocking her unconscious. Just as Storm seems doomed, a sniper on a nearby ridge distracts Proteus. The metal of the bullets are a real threat to him and forces him away from Storm. The sniper is Moira, who is intent on finishing him off. Cyclops, who does not want to use lethal force, tries to stop her. Moira knocks Cyclops out to get her shot, but Proteus has already driven off in the X-Men's Jeep, not wanting to be vulnerable while he switches bodies. Guessing, correctly as it turns out, where her son is ultimately heading, Moira takes off after him. The X-Men regroup and patch up their wounds. Wolverine has been badly shaken by his encounter with Proteus and is in a fragile state. Cyclops provokes a fight in order to snap him out of it. Unaware of Cyclops' intentions, Colossus tries to intervene, but Phoenix, who has read Scott's mind, stops him. As Cyclops planned, his taunting escalates into a brawl, and he provokes responses from Nightcrawler and Storm as well. Finally, he sues for peace and explains his motivation to test their psyches to see if there was any other damage that was not immediately apparent. Meanwhile, to the south of them, Proteus claims his next victim, a young woman named Jeannie Banks, whose car has a flat tire. Jeannie Proteus hides the used-up policeman's body and fixes the flat before continuing on his way, intent on killing the one he hates. In Edinburgh, Moira pays a visit to Joe McTaggart, her estranged husband who has repeatedly refused to divorce her. She tells him he has a son and that he's trying to kill him, prompting an outraged response from him. Moira pulls a gun on him before leaving. Outside, she crumbles in tears at the situation, unaware that Proteus is near her. Proteus closes in for the kill on his quarry, his father. Phoenix detects Joe's psychic death scream and feels his pain physically. She also warns that with each new host body that Proteus consumes, his mutant ability to warp reality increases exponentially. Now knowing his location, she telekinetically flies the bulk of the team to him while Storm and Polaris fly on their own power. Jean secretly notes with some concern the new extent of Phoenix's powers. As Marvel Girl, Jean's telekinesis would never have been strong enough to transport so many people so far. Having possessed his father's body, Proteus confronts Moira. She grabs for her gun, but he transforms it into a snake. Proteus displays a blatant Oedipal complex as killing his father. He seems to sexually accost his mother.
Oh, God.
Claremont and Byrne.
John Byrne January.
Always get that extra special trait with Claremont and Byrne. The X-Men arrive on the scene to find reality going wild. Proteus foils the team's initial assaults on him and uses Moira as a hostage. Banshee, who is in love with Moira, begs Cyclops not to let her get hurt. Cyclops, however, says that their opponent has grown too powerful and they can no longer afford to pull any punches, even at the cost of Moira or their own lives. Oh, and did you know Banshee lost his mutant ability when he got injured in Uncanny X-Men 119? Because not that they mention it every single issue.
Yeah, every issue, and then this in the next issue as we'll discover. We get a lengthy recap.
Hello, Noel.
Hey, Noel.
Claremont
Classics. Yeah,
just the best. Okay, ready? Oh my God! Did Claremont write this synopsis? I've seen longer. No, in the words of Justin, I've seen longer.
Exactly. Yeah, we've run into some truly prodigal synopses on this and Marvel Tales.
Nah, shit. Nah, okay. This one was this one was the shortest one so far, Noel. Just with Oh yeah, by the way, Mutant X has an Oedipus complex. Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And did you know Banshee lost his powers in Uncanny X-Men 1?
He screamed himself hoarse. It happens.
That's true. No, I think I grew a beard during that one. But yeah, I love editor's notes as much as the next fellow. But yeah, every single issue. Oh yeah, he lost his powers in Uncanny 119.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Every time. But again, I guess they're like, someone's first. Yeah.
That's true. And this is back in the day when they didn't have I'm sure there were comic book shops, but you couldn't really get back issues to discover what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you missed a couple of issues, you're like, oh, what? Why isn't Banshee helping them? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And in issue 117, it was revealed that Charles, Xavier, and Moira had a romantic relationship. But while he was sliding time, kids. While he was away in the Korean War.
Oh.
She sent him a Dear John letter. Then, this story reveals that she broke up with Charles to marry Joe McTaggart, but the marriage was a considerably unhappy one. Joe abandoned her, unaware that she was pregnant. And, of course, the child was Proteus.
Yeah, and...
Wow! Banshee, everyone's least favorite X person. Hey, Stacy X would like to have a word with you, sir.
I don't know. I think if I thought about it, I could come up with some X people that I like lesser than the Banshee. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I thought about it.
Oh yeah, this is all leading to Dark Phoenix. Yeah.
Yes, this is especially the stuff with Jason Wingard.
No.
Yeah.
Now Charles would have been there during the Korean martial law of 2024. No. It would have been like Desert Storm or something, or maybe maybe got sent over by George W.
Oh yes, yeah.
Again, that damn signing time.
We need to get a mortise on that.
Well, that's like that horrible meme where they're like, if they remade Back to the Future today, he'd be going back 30 years to the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need to do that.
No.
No remakes of Back to the Future ever.
Yes, no Iraq. Yeah. Ugh. Korea.
Yeah, and I love the part where Cyclops just launches into everybody that's suffering from PTSD at the result of their encounter with Proteus.
Yeah, that was 1979, I guess. It's like, oh, you're suffering from PTSD. Get up, you sissy.
Shake it off, you wimp. Wolverine's sitting there and his hands are shaking. He's trying to sip this coffee.
Well, yeah, because he says he's so into, he has all those super senses, and it's just so in the physicality, and Proteus just warped it all, and
yeah. And it was unlike anything he'd ever encountered before, so of course it freaked him out.
But in every other story we've ever read with Wolverine, yeah, it's not a good idea to get between him and his PTSD.
Yeah, or just to get in his face, period. Like when he's suffering like that, like leave him alone. And then he lashes out at Cyclops lashes out at Storm too when she tries to intervene.
Oh yeah,
damn.
No, walk it out, you panty waste.
You milksop.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shake it off.
Yeah.
And what a piece of crap Moira's husband is, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did she say something about in the hospital? So I didn't know if that was like a subtle way of saying, "Oh, hey, beat her" or whatever.
I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, he's all about his political career or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, I still want a divorce, and he's like, no. He's like, it's.
He says, I find it too useful politically being married to a Nobel Prize winner. It's like, that's nasty. And he goes, you're mine, Moira. You swore before God to love, honor, and cherish me until death. I intend to hold you to that. That's so gross. Yeah, what a piece of crap.
I know.
Yeah, I'm glad that we don't see much of him, because I would have been like, I can't stand this guy. And I love the part where she pulls the gun on him. It's like, oh, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna do it? No, she won't. Yeah. Yeah, but the whole Oedipal complex thing, when that happened, I was like, oh God, here we go.
Oh, here you go. Here's something for you, Justin. In this issue, we learned that was it Di Thomas of Scotland Yard, a supporting character from Chris Claremont's run on Captain Britain. Yeah,
and Captain Britain, yeah,
has been promoted from chief inspector to chief superintendent.
Yes, he works his way up. Like we see him kind of get multiple promotions over the course of the years. I think probably. Yep.
Yeah, we do learn here, yes, also that Moira has a Nobel Prize, which makes her description in X-Men 96, her debut as merely Xavier's housekeeper, all the more inexplicable.
What? Housekeeper?
Supposedly in X-Men 96, that was her first appearance. Supposedly, I guess she's described as Xavier's housekeeper. So,
really?
Boy, she has a type, don't she?
Wow. Some housekeeper. Yeah.
Yes.
Was she wearing the same bodysuit?
Oh, I can't remember.
I swear she didn't wear anything else but that bodysuit for about 20 years.
I don't think she wear anything underneath it, if you know what I mean.
Well, if Charles had anything to say about it.
Again, yeah, she has a type.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
And
right.
how cool was it when they confront Proteus at the end? And he
Oh,
does that whole like topsy-turvy thing like we saw in Doctor Strange.
oh
where,
yeah.
where like the whole world goes wild. And then
No. House of X.
House of X, yeah. And then Cyclops blasts at him and he turns like the energy into like butterflies or something. I was like, oh wow.
I
This is
know.
really
I
cool.
know.
This is really cool because they haven't faced somebody like this before.
Yeah. Again, this is. I mean, they're still pretty new at this point. Most of the team. Again, this is before Kitty Pryde. This is
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1979, man. This was a definite melting pot of characters.
Oh yeah. And I mean, at this point, I think this team has only faced Magneto twice, maybe.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times
Mm-hmm.
at the most, and they didn't go well. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, they're still pretty green here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I do love the line, Moira's not a mutant. We can't track her. I'm like, wait for the 21st century, kid.
Oh, yeah. They had to mess with that, didn't they?
Although it explains how she got the legacy virus in the 90s, but
still though,
I know. The whole house.
I don't like it.
As Noel pointed out, yeah, House of X powers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid, they eventually made Moira a mutant who could every time she died, she reset the timeline and stuff, but she could only do 10 times.
Yeah. No, I don't like it.
I mean, it's a big ass power, but you get mutant power you can only use 10 times. Okay.
Yeah. Who wrote that? Do you remember?
Oh, is that oh that's what's his face. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. It's a big name. Make sure I got this right here. Yeah, Jonathan Hickman.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, House of X and Powers of X. Yeah, kicked off the whole Krakoa era. Yeah.
That revelation was during that stuff?
Yeah, that's kind of how they got the Krakoa is basically, Moira,
right.
one of her lifetimes comes that, sees everything that keeps going wrong. It just comes to Magneto and Xavier and be like, you guys got to come together. We got to build a mutant nation and all, of course that goes wrong.
I don't know. The concept was all right, but I wish that they had like made a new character. You know what I mean? Instead of messing with Moira and changing her into a mutant, having her have this big, elaborate backstory.
No, this just before it got good. Chris was still searching. Yeah, like we said, in one of these issues, it's the first time they mentioned that Wolverine's entire skeleton is covered in adamantium. Claws. Yeah. Although they didn't know what to do with him at first. Supposedly, there were so many things they were going to kicking around with him. It's like, okay, are the claws just built into the gloves?
Right.
Wasn't like one of the first theories of like, oh yeah, we're gonna say he was like an actual Wolverine who was evolved into a man or something, or
oh really? Oh, that's funny.
There's all kinds. Yeah,
that's so funny.
Yes, you're right, Noel Hickman. All right, should we wrap this? Get to the last one.
Yes.
Up? Yeah.
The conclusion.
All right. All right. Uncanny X-Men 128 from December 1979. The Action of the Tiger. Yeah, same team again. And once again, Claremont and Byrne credited it as writers. Yeah, I'm giving him an edible book complex. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it, John? Yeah.
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah. Who has all the good ideas about all the sexual perversions? Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, he was going to be a mutant ninja wolf. Yeah, something
Ninja wolf. Yeah.
Honey badger. Proteus's reality warping powers is affecting an ever-increasing radius of Edinburgh. The X-Men, including Havoc and Polaris, are hard-pressed to rescue innocent civilians from the bizarre effects, let alone confront their opponent Proteus, who reflects on the events leading up to this standoff. Meanwhile, Proteus and Hedgehog. Hedgehog. Remember when they did one episode of an X-Men animated? What was that, in the 80s? And Wolverine had like an Australian accent.
Oh yeah, was it his appearance on the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends when the X-Men were on that?
Maybe, I can't remember. But I remember there's at least one episode somewhere early on. Yeah, him having an Australian.
Oh, that is so funny.
Good day, mate. I'm the best there is at what I do. Meanwhile, Proteus amuses himself by sadistically toying with his mother, Moira. He transforms her into grotesque animal forms as punishment for keeping him in captivity for years. But while he is preoccupied with Moira, he is caught unaware when Banshee fires a bullet into his shoulder. Cyclops remarks that he asked the now powerless Banshee to hang back. Sean retorts that Moira is the woman he loves and he will do anything to save her. Proteus fights back by creating a deep pit directly beneath Banshee's feet, and he plummets into it. Nightcrawler teleports in to rescue him. As he's climbing out with the now unconscious Banshee in tow, he realizes that Proteus is warping space around him, entombing him. Nightcrawler is forced to teleport out despite it being a strain to teleport while carrying someone. Proteus makes it. I know that's not, then he teleports like up into the air.
Yeah. When he doesn't even know where he's going.
Well, they said he panicked. It was just like, he teleported as high as he could get.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing we forgot about last issue when Wolverine's fallen and Cyclops breaks his fall with his optic.
Oh yes, yeah.
He does it in spurts, like slow him down, and I just hear Wolverine going, "Ow,
ow, ow, ow!" He's gonna be bruised in the morning.
Cyclops, like, yeah, Wolverine's the only one I could do that with.
Yeah. He'll heal that in about a half an hour. He'll be all right.
Proteus makes a tactical withdrawal and takes Moira with him. Phoenix catches up and nails him with a powerful psychic attack, but he successfully retaliates. Wolverine is caught up as well and tears into him with his deadly adamantium claws. Cyclops and Havoc then let Proteus have it with both barrels. But while these attacks weaken Proteus, he still manages to escape from them with Moira as his prisoner. He retreats to the ramparts of Edinburgh Castle. Colossus scales the castle walls in pursuit, hoping to catch the evil mutant unaware. He initially attacks Proteus while in his human form, and his current physical form is rapidly decaying. Proteus prepares to steal Moira's form when Colossus intervenes and tosses him away from her. The host body shatters against the wall, reduced to ashes by the blow, and Proteus is revealed as a being of pure energy. He takes delight in torturing Colossus's psyche as he slowly roasts him with fire and then prepares to take possession of his form. But Proteus hadn't figured in Peter's ability to transform himself into organic steel. Colossus transforms and thrusts himself into the heart of Proteus's energy form, dispersing it and killing him. The scattered members of the team convene on the castle ramparts where Colossus is consoling a distraught Moira. Even despite Proteus's evil and her husband's terrible treatment, she still loved both of them and is devastated by their deaths. When Banshee arrives, she collapses into his arms. The X-Men quietly depart, leaving Sean to comfort Moira as best he can.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God, but that's, oh my Lord. But it was just, when, after Colossus kills him, Wolverine's just like, way to go, Pete. It's like,
yeah, well, Moira's right there.
I know. I'm like, he just killed a guy in front of his mother. I'm like, okay.
Well, not only that, he said something like, what does he say? It's something like really, like you really zapped that sucker, but good. What does he say?
Something like,
yeah, I'm proud of you, Petey. I couldn't ace that sucker better myself. And Moira's like right there, like less than a foot away.
I'm like, we get it. The dude had to die, but it's like you don't have to revel in it.
Right? Yeah. While her mother's right there with an earshot. Like, well, his mother's mourning over his death. Yeah. So funny. Oh, man.
Geez, Noel, what are you? Russell's father? Mashing me hog. What, you're reading John Byrne? Oh.
I wonder if my wrist is ready for that.
That should be the intro for all the John Byrne episodes.
I wonder if my wrist is ready for that.
Yes, definitely. That fits.
Hey, so yeah, I mean,
this really is an epic conclusion. I love the part 2. This is a little touch that I loved about in the beginning when Proteus was going crazy with his powers. He turned that like storefront into a swarm of bees.
Yeah,
but then
he turned Storm's like cape into like the crystal thing.
Yeah, to entomb her. But with the bees, I love this part because Storm says, "I do not wish to hurt these bees any more than I have to. They should not have to pay the price for their creator's madness." And then she summons this wind to like sweep them away. And I thought, that's really nice actually, that she didn't just, summon a lightning bolt and just fry this swarm of bees, even though she could have done that. She chose to be gentle about it and save them and just kind of push them out of the way so they didn't sting a bunch of people to death.
Exactly.
I liked that. I thought that was nice. I'm always about when they do the right thing and choose not to kill the animal and just like move it somewhere else or sedate it or whatever. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we get the lengthy recap about the last few issues that's been happening. But I was really surprised when Proteus started messing with Moira and like shaping, like doing the weird things with her and like turning into like this. She looks like an elephant thing with bad ears. I don't know what he was trying to do there. I was like, yikes! What are you doing, Proteus?
I mean, I think just the nature of his powers and being probably solitary for a long time. I mean, he's insane. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, just absorbing and killing all these people, especially. I mean, not all of them are nice. I mean,
that's true.
Joe McTaggart. So.
Yeah. Yeah. If he wasn't insane before, he definitely is now.
But then when Moira was like, "You're my son," he's like, "Not quite anymore. I also have all my father's memories now."
Mm-hmm. And all the other people that he's killed. He's killed like half a dozen people already.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this part when Proteus and Jean towards the end are having their psychic duel.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden, it looks like Jean's got the upper hand, but then Proteus hits her with the whammy, and then it says, "Imagine being dead and buried. Then imagine how you'd feel, assuming you could feel, after a year in the ground. That's how Proteus makes Phoenix feel." Yikes! Oh my god!
And again, I mean, retcon. This is even the real Jean. This is the Phoenix Force. I mean, between that and Wingard, no wonder that thing went in nuts.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, everybody's messing with her, and it's all of these really powerful psychic attacks too, which makes it even worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just so funny, Moira hanging off Wolverine as he's like climbing up
yeah, reality's all going crazy around them. Havoc and Cyclops trying to do their double whammy against Proteus, but it doesn't work.
Oh no, this is the issue. Yeah, where Cyclops slows Wolverine's fall with the arm.
Yeah. After Proteus grabs Moira, yeah.
That stunt would have killed a normal person, but I figured Wolverine's adamantium skeleton could survive that hard knocks. I'm glad I was right.
And I wonder if this is before they even established that he had a healing factor, because they could have made mention of that also. That
yeah.
Heal the bruises or whatever injury from it.
Yeah, I don't know how long it was before they did the healing factor.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's quite the that last scene with Colossus and Proteus. Proteus is down to his energy body, and then starts attacking Colossus, and basically just like burns like the upper half of his costume off, and he turns to steel and just plunges his fist.
Basically
where his heart would be.
Where his heart or his rib cage. Yeah, it was so great.
It just like disappeared. And again, it's like with villains like this, it's like usually you shouldn't Proteus have been able to reform. I guess he can't reform himself, but
eventually he does. Eventually, years later, we get the what is it? The Kings of Pain storyline.
Yeah, we got to cover that sometime.
In which he returns in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I actually liked that. I liked that. I think that was a Fabian story.
I think so. Right. Yeah,
I really like that. But it was cool because they haven't used Proteus much.
Yeah, no.
They only bring him back very few and far between, which is great, because one of the things that I love is when they don't overuse a good villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've used the Joker to death. Like, there's no way in my eyes he'll ever be a good villain again. They've just used the Joker to death. And same thing with Bane and Venom and all those big, just explosive carnage, all those big sensation supervillains that just everybody couldn't get enough of, that appeared way too many times. For me, I like the less is more approach.
Batman, my favorite character.
Wasn't me, Ray, I swear.
Yeah. But when you don't see a character as much, it means more when they appear. Like, it's a big deal. So when Proteus reappeared, like, what was that, almost 25 years later, that was a big deal. Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, just looking at this art, that last page, I mean, you just look how big Colossus is. I mean, when he's hugging
compared to Moira, I know, yeah. It's like 9 feet tall.
But he still has his arms around her when Wolverine's like, yeah, proud of you, Petey. I could have aced this sucker better. I'm like, she's right there.
Right there. She's like a foot away. What are you doing, Logan, you idiot?
Reach on, like, touch her, Wolverine. I'm like,
yeah, you can see she's sobbing. It's crazy. Yeah, and they have a little bit of a happy ending when Banshee and Moira are reunited.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, again, it's Bernard, so it's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's see. Do we have any other notes? No, really, not a lot of notes for this one.
That's it. All right. I wonder, does it mention the Kings of Pain storyline? Proteus will next appear in.
Let me see. Proteus, Kevin McTaggart. Let's see, we got. Because sometimes I'll just like. Here we go. I don't. Wait. Oh yeah, is it New Mutants Annual 7, New Warriors Annual 1, yes. X-Men Annual 15, X Factor Annual 6?
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he made some appearances later on. X-Men Legacy, Astonishing X-Men.
I haven't read any of that stuff yet.
Volume 4 of X Factor. Yeah, he's been around. But again, it took him a while to bring him back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he only has. I mean, they've only been using him more recently with all of the, like what was it, King in Black and X of Swords and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They've only been using him in more recent years than they did before. Yeah, 84 appearances in total for him. That's not very many. So I like that. I like that they haven't overused this character in the years since.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. You must have a hint of magic, because according to Dr. Doom, those who warp reality have a spark of magic within them. Yeah, just give him everything else, because he has everything. I mean, He's immortal. He can manipulate all kinds of energy. He's got telekinesis, telepathy, force field generation, telekinesis, molecular reconstruction, teleportation, psionic reality manipulation. So,
Yeah, wouldn't he qualify as like an Omega level mutant?
that's what it said. He's classified as an Omega. Well, if anyone qualifies as an Omega level mutant, yeah, I think Proteus.
Yeah.
I think bigger than Omega. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here it is. Kevin has been classified as Omega level. Okay, there we go. Yeah, well, I would hope so. Yeah, with that type of power. Mm-hmm.
You know who might be a good battle? Him and Franklin Richards.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Yeah.
Be ripping
That'd be
reality
interesting.
apart and
Yeah.
each other. Yeah.
That might make a good what if issue.
Oh yeah.
Franklin Richards is such a BA.
Indeed. Franklin Richards is a BA.
That's Psylord to you.
Oh yeah.
Psylord.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, anything else on this, Justin?
No, I'm glad that we covered this. And for any new fans, I hope you check this out, and I hope you enjoy this as much as we have. This is definitely one of my favorite classics.
Oh yeah, this is good. This is
era of X-Men. Yeah, I love how dark and creepy this story is, and it's so cool that we see a villain with this sheer scale of power.
Yes,
for the X-Men to fight, because before this, as we saw, I mean that X-Men, Magneto's a really powerful X-Men adversary. Make no mistake, but Proteus is on a whole other level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, good news, kids. Remember, it's 2025. You're going to start getting at least two, most of the time, 2 X-Men classics a month. So,
yes.
Yeah, next time here, we're going to do Uncanny X-Men 141 and 142 Days of Future Past, another classic.
That was Phil's pick, and I was very happy about that one. We have to cover that.
I mean, we covered Days of Future Present. We got to cover Days of Future.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course, over on Marvel Tales for John Byrne January, we're covering Avengers West Coast 50 through 52 and 56 and 57. Again, that whole Human Torch comes back, the Master Pandemonium stuff, and the Scarlet Witch, And also on Marvel Tales this month, Fantastic Four 242 and 242 through 244, and Fantastic Four 261 through 263.
Some more John Byrne magic.
Basically, Reed saves Galactus, and then Reed has to answer for saving Galactus.
Yeah. Cause and effect.
Yeah. So, doesn't get bigger than Galactus, kids. All right. So, so send us your thoughts on all of those. The X-Men Classics, the Marvel Tales, or anything else in John Byrne January. Because we're doing it all over the place. Ultimate Spider Cast, where you'll hear some Justin.
Yes.
We Are the Night, the Batman podcast. Even the devil you know. So, yes, send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise. Get your brand new Capes Lunatics merch, the classic Capes Lunatics merch. And again, more deadly than Proteus. And warps her own reality more than Proteus. Lilith Hellfire demands that you raid random money on us through the Cash App link.
Make it rain.
Don't make us dance on that pole, especially if we're in a John Byrne story.
She looks like she's working a stripper pole down at Divas.
And of course,
spinning around like Wonder Woman.
Oh, that's right. Yes. With all the Jason Wingard staring at us.
Yeah.
All right, and of course the Patreon, where Lilith and I give you something exclusive and uncensored every month, always something different. And if you're a patron like the Owl
Yes.
here, yes,
Join me in the Patreon Elite.
you can suggest topics for us to talk about, which we've done a few Justins already. So yes, so
I have to think of some more for next year for you guys to talk about.
yeah. All right. So yeah, so check that out. Well, subscribe at patreon.com/CapesandLunatics and find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
All right. So like we said, you can catch Justin here every week, either on X-Men Classics or Marvel Tales. You can hear us talking over here. Well, we'll be doing the random one world under Doom or Energon Universe or just a
Wondercast.
We'll be talking Scarlet Spider with me and Ray now.
Yes.
So,
Excited about that.
Oh yeah, it's coming up soon. And of course, over on Capes Lunatic Sidekicks, you can check him out at least once a month on We Are the Night, the Batman podcast.
And Azrael.
That's right, where we'll talk Azrael at least once a month, and every once in a while he pops in for another episode. And speaking of popping in and out, I can also hear him sometimes on Electric Mullet over there, the Superman podcast.
Yes, several times in the year 2025.
Yes, yeah, he'll be on 2 episodes this month talking to the Krypton Man. So,
yep.
But the busiest man in podcasting, that is not all he does. So, Justin, tell them about these other fine shows.
You can also find me on these shows every month. Gamma Charge with Russell, where we discuss cranking his hog. And every month we discuss either Immortal Hulk or Sensational She-Hulk. We're doing alternating coverage of both of those series. And we also have a Patreon, so do check that out. And over on Predator and Prey, we're joined by the High Priest of Khonshu, Ray, and Sparky to discuss some classic Dark Horse comics featuring Fox's Predator. And last but not least, The Lost Library of Legends is my solo show dedicated to the obscure and forgotten comic book gems of the last few decades. And I'm very happy to announce that I will be doing a multiple-part retrospective on an Ultraverse title.
Going back to the 90s here, man.
Damn right.
The 90s, like the Ultraverse.
Yeah. Sadly, the Ultraverse didn't make it out of the 90s, but that's a story for another time. My favorite biscuit. We saw one of my favorite biscuits in this story. Havoc was in this one.
Oh yeah.
Little blonde biscuit action. Yeah.
Nothing for that big Russian biscuit, Colossus.
Oh yeah, I love Colossus too. Yeah, definitely. Especially whenever he gets his shirt torn off, I'm like, yeah, do it. Keep going.
Well, Byrne always gives stuff for everybody. That's like when
I know. Yeah.
After Storm injures her arm and I guess Polaris is bandaging it up. I swear the top of that.
Oh yes.
I'm like, oh, hello.
Yep. Seeing some bare shoulder and midriff. Oh yes.
And of course, in that one flashback where Jason Wingard's like, "Oh, he's following Jean around the whole time," and of course, he comes across her when she's like laying on a beach in her bikini and stuff.
Oh, of course, yeah, naturally, yeah.
Oh,
of course. I love it.
I knew we were getting stuff during the Byrne month, and he did not disappoint.
Yes. You delivered.
All right. So yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us again. Join us again this month for Days of Future Past.
Yes, the classic.
I think that might be his. Is that his last story or fun? Very close.
It's pretty close to it, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, kids, stay tuned. Like I said, all over the place. A lot of our shows are doing John Byrne January.
Yep. The fun doesn't stop here.
That's right. Get your wrist ready, kids. All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, never slap a Wolverine in the face. Good night.